Japan.
Brazil.
China.
Nepal. Jordan.
Hello and welcome to another episode of AU Global. I'm your host Martina Baca. AU Global gives you the opportunity to explore other cultures without even leaving your seats. In today's show, we're going to explore a country located in Asia, and it owns one of the 7 wonders of the world. Let's welcome Omar Alzubi. He's from Jordan, and he's pursuing his second master's degree in business here at Ashland. Hi, Omar.
Hello, Martina.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good.
Thank you.
So you come from Jordan. I cannot imagine how long it takes you to come here to the States.
Yeah, it's actually like 17 hours by plane, so it's pretty much far.
Oh gosh. So what drive you here to Ashland?
All right. Well, first, I've done my undergraduate in Jordan in Philadelphia University. Then after that, I start applying for some universities to study my first master. So the first time I went to London, I spent there like 2 years, and after that, I decided to go to the US and start another master. So I started applying through some agencies, and Ashland, one of the universities I actually applied for. And when I got the offer, I just came here, and here we go.
Mm-hmm. So now that you have been a couple of semesters here at Ashland, which you think are the major difference between Jordan and the States?
Well, there is like lots of differences can we consider between the United States and Jordan. We can start with the weather. Actually, back home in Jordan, we actually do have 4 seasons, which is different than here living in Ohio. So we have really beautiful summer and spring, yeah, which is really wonderful, and most people from the world go to Jordan and travel and have fun there. But here in Ohio, like sometimes it's really raining, and even during summer, so that's one of the differences. Another difference we can like talk about is the food. Like most of the food here in the U.S. is about like fast food or kind of say fast food. But back home in Georgia, we really do consider like our main food is different, completely different. Like we do have different dishes. Like there is one of our traditional main dishes called mansaf, which is rice and chicken with different kind of soup and yogurt and vegetables. So that's another difference that we can like consider between the United States and Jordan.
So the food is a big difference.
It's really big difference.
So
yeah.
it was hard for you to adapt to the food?
Well, yeah, I mean, kinda like I start teaching myself how to cook sometimes, but because I'm a student, it's really hard sometimes. So sometimes you have just to go and get something from like Convo or like any store around here. So that's right.
And do you find any difference between people's attitude, maybe how people behave, or maybe some social norms that there is here not in Jordan?
Well, let's say like there is not that big difference in both countries. People are really friendly, and that's like what surprised me here, because people in Ashland really friendly. Even if you walk by the street and if you don't look that, if someone walking by you and if you don't like him, look at him or her and smile, that maybe would be weird. And actually that's the same thing like in Jordan. So that's one of the things that we can say we have in both countries, and that's really cool.
And the way people dresses is different?
Well, we do have different kind of dresses back home in Jordan, but let's say most of the people there, they dress the same like here, but because we have like different religions there, so like some people dress a little bit different, but like the main dresses like I think is gonna be the same like here. So.
And since Jordan, they're Christians and they're Muslims, and Muslim being one of the main religions, I don't know, how is that different from what we see here?
Let's say we do have actually big like part of Jordan that have Christianity and Jewish as well, and Muslims. Well, like they live together like here. It's so peaceful, and it's let's say not a big difference. So even if like you can find like a Muslim and another neighbor that would be a Christian, and they hang out together, they have fun, and it's completely like the same here, and which is amazing, and you can find it maybe in other countries, but that's one of the things that really we can consider about Jordan and United States.
And what about if you will be able to bring something from Jordan, I don't know, something that you love about your country here to the States, what that would be?
Well, we actually have a really beautiful spring and summer, and that's one of the things that I would love to bring it here. I know we have in some states here like beautiful weather as well, but in Jordan is really beautiful. Even like we have so many Americans usually travel to to Jordan and to have fun and to travel around, because we have so many beautiful places you can visit in Jordan. So that's one of the main things I can say I want to bring. Beside the food, like I'm very sure Americans love different kind of food, so I'm very sure if they would try some of our traditional food, that would be really good for them and they would love it.
And I read that one of the main things about Jordan is the tourism there. How important it is for the economy. I read that over 8 million people visited in 2007. I don't know, could you tell me why people is so interested in going to Jordan?
We have actually one of the 7 wonder places in the world. It's called Petra. It's really beautiful place that it's an old really place, like, let's say, big city built in the rock, and it's really beautiful. That's one of the let's say the main things. Another place that people would like to visit, it's a sea, it's called Dead Sea. It's like the lowest point on the earth, and that's like why it's called Dead Sea, because it has nothing inside, like no life inside that, because it's so salty. And people would love to go there because it's really good for your skin. Like you can get some products which is really helpful for you and for your skin, and people would love to go there actually for that. And besides Petra, so that's one of the 2 main like places that people love to visit every time they go to Jordan.
And I heard there's a lot of spas and resorts near the Dead Sea.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah, actually. When I lived in Jordan, I lived in the capital. It's Amman, and it's just like 1 hour far from Amman. So people usually, when like they stay in Amman, this is the capital of Jordan, and then they drove like every weekend. Yeah, so I used to go there like almost every weekend. So it's really a fun place.
So you have soft skin.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And well, going back to the question, what would you bring, something that you really like about the States and you can't find in your country?
One of the main things actually I really loved here is how people respect the street and how they drive smoothly and they like follow the orders, and that's one of the things that we don't have actually in Jordan. Like there is one of my friends who love riding motorcycles, so it's very hard and you have to be careful if you ride back home in Jordan, because you don't know when there's a car will turn left or right. Even they use signals, but sometimes because like they are in rush and they don't like actually apply the rules. But here in the United States, like this is one of the main things I really appreciate and I really like. So if you're passing or just crossing the street, everyone will stop, will give you the opportunity to, they will respect you and will look at you and say thank you, and that's really nice.
Yeah, no.
So that's one of the main things I really want to bring back home.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. If I think about my home country, when I came here, I was like, oh my God, they're giving me like space to come and stuff. I was like, that's awesome.
That's really right.
So what do you have learned, your experience here, and not even here at Ashland, but other places that you have traveled and you have lived? Like, what is the main learning that you have over the years?
Well, let's say I lived in different places and I grew up in so many different countries. Most of my life I stayed in between Jordan and Belgium, and here in the United States and in London. So I think like the main thing when you grow up in different cultures, that's gonna help you to grow up in a mutual way, and that's gonna affect your personality because you are like involving yourself with different cultures. It's like you try to like understand it and live with it, and which is really helpful for your personality. And it helps you to get experience, to be responsible about your life, because you'll be like away from your family, from everyone who used to be with. And that's one of the things that you will appreciate when you grow up, because it's gonna affect you in like really nice way. I loved like this experience that I'm gaining every day, since I start traveling. So
okay, awesome. That was our last question.
thank you.
Thank you, Mar, for joining us, and thank you for watching AU Global. Tune next week for another episode of AU Global.